So hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Masterclass Behind the Scenes. My name is Mélodie Varchesaz. I'm a third year student at ESC International Business School.
And I am Andreas Sellegard, a first year student at the IUM International University of Monaco.
So Behind the Scenes is about giving students a better understanding of their studies and also inspiring them with a career that could be theirs one day.
And as a reminder, for those who don't know us yet, Behind the Scenes is a series of interviews with alumni students from schools in the Omnis Education Group. Today, we are offering a 30-minute interview that will primarily be an opportunity to discover a professional profile that will undoubtedly be a real source of motivation and inspiration. During the last 10 minutes of this interview, we are going to take questions you guys asked in the chat and ask them to our guest.
So today we will dive into the world of computer science, and we have the honor of welcoming a former student of ECE Paris, Benjamin Lévy, current head of accounts, contract management at Orange Business in the Netherlands.
Welcome, Benjamin, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for accepting me, for inviting me even more to this interview. Thanks.
Okay, Benjamin, let me try to give a brief overview of your background. So, you have a creative mindset and you have pursued your studies at ECE Paris. As an ambassador for that school, you've been involved in various activities and you've gained valuable experience through internships. And if I remember correctly, you had one in Airbus. And at ECE Paris, you loved computer science, project management, and entrepreneurship. Over the years, you have gained experience and recognition for your innovative projects, and you've ventured, therefore, into entrepreneurship. If I remember correctly, your position you had before the one you have now is executive advisor for the CEO of Orange Cloud for Business, and now you're managing your team in Amsterdam.
That's impressive. You have a good memory.
I know. Thank you.
So, Benjamin, out of all the schools that you could have chosen from, why did you choose the ECE Paris?
That's a very good question. So first of all, I wanted to be in engineering schools, of course. And we have lots of choices when you're in high school and you just want to look for schools. You need to do these salons, what we call, and it's important to just look for every school. It's important to just seek the right school, the one that fits you. And above all the schools, I think ECE Paris was great for me because we had lots of practical experience within the school, lots of projects during all the years. Even though you need to do theoretical lectures and stuff, it's important sometimes to just apply what you learn. And I think ECE Paris was good for this. And also lots of associations within the school. During all the years, you can enjoy them, and also lots of opportunities abroad with lots of schools around the world. So that's all the reasons.
Yeah. Where exactly did you go abroad when you say you went abroad?
So I went in Sweden. I went to Sweden so in Malmö, next to Copenhagen and the border. And also I went to San Francisco in the 5th year. So 3rd year for Sweden, 5th year for San Francisco.
Then I understand that you have quite an entrepreneurial mindset, and you've been in an internship with a startup that created quite interesting projects, like I think there was the cocktail machine and the recipe box and others. I know that there are many other students out there who wish to do the same as you did, but most of the time these students are too afraid to take the risks necessary or don't exactly know how to get going or start this up. And now the question I have for you is, what exactly do you recommend or give advice to these students who would like to start their project or be part of one like you were?
That's also a very good question. I think it's important to dare. Even though you're afraid, I think it's important sometimes just to realize what can be lost at this time. I mean, if you see this person for an interview, let's say, and you just reach him and just say, okay, we need to have an interview, and if he takes it bad, that's okay. I mean, it won't happen anything bad in the end. So that's the thing. It's important to dare. And even more when you're motivated to a project into a project, I think it's important to sometimes just see the project. You're motivated. Okay, let's just do it. What do you have to lose? You know.
That makes sense. But then again, if that person is really scared to, like you say, dare, what would you give as advice for that?
And of course, if you're afraid, you have lots of people that are around you. I mean, even though you can sometimes have bad relationships with the school, with sometimes the parents or whatever, the people that are around you, the friends, just talk to them. I think sometimes teachers, people from the school can be there for you. And again, you have nothing to lose, so don't be scared. Even though if it's really easy to say, just ask people around. Just go take some advices. Look up for things on the internet. Yeah, that's all the things.
Make research basically and keep informed and
and prepare.
And prepare.
Also. You don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to lose.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, how did your studies at ICI Paris and your semesters abroad help you to prepare your future?
During the school, I had lots of different opportunities, lots of different times to actually discover things, to adapt to new cultures, new environment, and I think the school and the studies abroad really helped me just discover new things. And it really helps in the professional world today because you actually take the time to learn new things, but you can also take the time to take these opportunities and discover new things that you don't really know about. So for instance, I've made all my internships as all the other students, but I wanted to have all these internships different because I wanted to learn and discover new things because I'm really curious and that's what I wanted. So the first internship was in a startup, as you said. The second one was at Airbus, so a huge company. Then I had the opportunity to go to the INSEC San Francisco within the group for the startup factory. So it was great because you actually kind of create your own startup. And then for the last internship, I had an internship within a small and medium-sized company. And so all of these made me realize that actually I learned from all type of companies. So I understood which environment I wanted. Same for going abroad. I mean, you learn Swedish culture, you learn the American culture, and you actually realize where you want to go. You actually also realize that you want to work in some big companies or small companies. So enjoy the fact that you have lots of internships, lots of opportunities to see where you want to go, or at least discover if you don't know where you want to go.
Yeah. You're talking about all of these internships and companies you're able to work with and work for. Then what advice would you give to the students who would like to achieve the same, who would like to be able to get access to these interviews and internships, like you did? What would you tell them?
Same, motivation. Again, there's nothing to lose. It's important to dare. All the things that I've said before, I could put it again here. There's also two things. The first one is don't apply for something that doesn't fit you. It's important to say, just like if you're an engineer, you want to go for a business internship, like a fully business internship. I mean, when you're at school, it's possible when you're in your professional work, you've had many years of experience, but in the first beginning of engineering school, it has nothing to, it has no relation. So first of all, please target the things that you want to do. Don't apply for things that you won't fit. That's the first thing. And the second thing is there's no magic. You need to prepare. You need to take the time. You really need to go through the internet, look for all the websites that exist. It can be general websites, Welcome to the Jungle, and LinkedIn, even though LinkedIn is actually quite useful. And also, when I wanted to have an internship in a big company, sometimes big companies are really hard to reach. And just look at their website. On the website, there are lots of internships sometimes. If there's not, you cannot do anything about this. But if there is, apply. And if there's no answers, then move on to something else. And I will add something, also a third point. Adapt your your CV, adapt your motivation letters. I think I believe that it's important to adapt it to every time, to every interviews, because if you're motivated to go to Airbus, you will not have the same motivation letter to go for a startup that does I don't know anything else, like on a food business or whatever. So it's important to adapt, and sometimes we say just, okay, I have my motivation letter, I just copy paste and just change the name of the company. Don't do this. Really adapt it, and at least if you want to, in this motivation letter, you have of course some paragraphs that you can reuse. That's not a problem, but at least do some research on the company, and like, what is the strategy for the 5 coming years? How can you give your to the company your value? And I think it's important to just sometimes see what you can add as what value you can add to others.
Basically showing your interest as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, if you don't show your interest, is that it's not interesting for you. Yeah. So just don't go there. Yeah. I mean, don't find an internship that don't really interest you. Of course, if you have no choice, that is a different problem. But at least try to seek the companies that could fit you on the values, on the strategy, on all the subject that could go.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you learn during your studies at ICI Paris that helped you face the biggest challenges in your current position at Orange Business?
The first thing that comes in mind is adaptation. Of course, I've learned so many theoretical things, math, physics, electronics and stuff, but I think the most important thing is the fact that every time we made projects. It's a big word, project, but still is always the time for you to seek new kind of roles, head of the project or technical specialist for this project, etc., etc. And so I think it's important to really, every time you do a different project, you adapt to this new environment, new culture. I mean, I've worked for a recipe box, a cocktail machine, Airbus, Wi-Fi for San Francisco, and IoT. Of course, this is connected to the connected world, but all these areas are different. And so ICI Paris brought me the adaptation. Every time you do something else, just try to adapt to the environment. And adaptation, I think, is one of the things that is really important.
Thank you. And knowing exactly now, you talked about interviews and the companies you've worked for, what would you say, in your opinion, would be the most useful skill, the most precious skill you have, the skill that you would say, without this or with this, I can manage so much, so great things? What skill would that be for you, do you think?
In general, soft skills.
Yeah.
I think this is the most important thing. If I have someone that is really eager to learn, really motivated, that knows how to work with a team, that has just good soft skills in general, but he's bad as doing, like, I don't know, a Python or a full P&L, profit and loss table or whatever. I mean, I don't care. He will learn because he's eager to learn. He's motivated. So I'd rather come to him rather than someone that is not eager to learn, not motivated, etc., etc. And so it's important to have soft skills. And it comes with doing the things with people, working with people, taking the time that you have at school to work with teams, to just be open with people. So that's the thing, soft skills. Soft skills, yeah. And also, it also comes with preparation. Same as I said before, if you go to an interview that doesn't have one relation with you, I mean, of course, you will not be motivated, etc. So in the work, the most important thing that you can have is soft skills. I really believe in this. Of course, you need to have the hard skills that are at least leveled for the interview, but that's normal.
Yeah, so you'd say one of the main things you need, the soft skills and motivation, so that even if there's a particular hard skill you don't know, that you will be able to learn it fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, you always learn the new skills. And I mean, when I was at Airbus, I didn't know a thing about aeronautics. I didn't know a thing about that. Okay, I know airplanes have had wings, that's all. I mean, of course, it's basic things, but I didn't know anything, but they knew that, I mean, I hope, they knew that I could learn by the time, I could learn during the internship and bring value to them. So yeah, soft skills more than hard skills. We need to concentrate on this.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have like specific passions that drives you outside of work? And if yes, how has it influenced your career choices?
So I do rollerblades. I did rollerblades for a long time. I'm a fan of motorcycle. So well, that's not really aligned with the next thing I will say. But I'm also convinced that we need to go green for everything. And so that's not a line at all. But anyway, it's hard sometimes when it's a passion. But yeah, also going green for companies. I realized too late, but now that it's done, I think we need to change things. And I'm actually really eager to learn new things on this. And so that's also a passion. And it has impacts on my professional life because rollerblades, I was always going outside alone. I was always doing things for, I don't know, 30 kilometers. 30 kilometers. And so I was always alone. And I think it's important to realize that sometimes you just need to be alone, even though you have team around you. But going alone somewhere, it's also taking the time to breathe and be yourself, you know. So that's a thing. Yeah, that's the passion I have.
Okay, great. So now we are going to see if you have any questions for Benjamin.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we have questions you guys asked in the chat, and the first one is for you, Benjamin. Why did you choose Orange as your company?
That's a very good question. I actually wanted to answer this earlier, but now that I have the opportunity, I will take it. Very good question, and thanks for asking this. Why Orange? That's fun because I rediscovered Orange. To me, Orange was the suicide thing company back in 2009, and I had this image of Orange. And when I went to a salon of school, how do you call this in English actually? A salon of, well, there's lots of companies around, and you need to look for internships or whatever. And I went to the Orange stand, and I just discovered the values of the company. And Orange is a company that actually helps you going forward, helps you doing whatever you want, and they're eager to, you want to evolve in some specific areas, they will help you. They're really opened. We talked about motivation and strategy of companies earlier. I think also it's important for you guys that want to discover new companies to go to the websites and seek the reason to be. We call it like this in Orange, but it's important to see that sometimes companies that are really open for their employees. They not only work for, of course, their business, but also for their employees. And they are we're 10 years earlier for the Paris Agreement. We are in 2040 on the Paris Agreement by going net zero carbon, the footprint, and that's also a thing. We've been early in lots of things on this. Of course, they accompany you in many things. I'm going to go to the Netherlands. I am fully assisted by Orange. I have nothing to do to go there. I mean, everything is settled by them and done by them. I have nothing to do. They really accompany you, and they have lots of programs to help you going forward on the things you want to do in your professional career. So I think, Orange is a very good company. And why Orange? Because of the values, the people-oriented values. I didn't even talk about the association that we have, the Orange Foundation, that helps also going forward more digitalization on lots of countries that can't. And yeah, that's all the things that you can find in Orange, which I really like. It's the openness for employees, people in general.
That makes sense. Thank you.
So I think this question is from a student. So which specialization did you choose at ECE?
Yeah, so I love this question because every time someone asks me this, the person that asks me this is always thinking that if he chooses this, he can't do anything else in the end. But anyway, I'll answer this. So I've done the embedded system embarqué in ECE Paris. I think it was project management in the minor, and I don't remember the last one, but yeah, it was embedded systems. And I just want to add that even though you choose something like this, it is a specialization for 2 years, but you don't have to work on this kind of areas in the end. I don't work in embedded systems anymore. Of course, it's let's say it's just network in general, but you don't need to. You always find the specific specialization to work all your life on this. No, it's also this. But yes, embedded systems, to make it clear.
Yeah. Okay, so next question is, what would you say is a skill that makes you stand out from the rest of the people with a similar career as you?
So, yeah, very good question. It's more, you can more see it when you're in other schools than schools that are specialized or very generic. Let's explain this. At ECE Paris, you have lots of specialization, you have lots of things that you can do, lots of opportunities. We call it the 1,000 ways of going forward. And there's so many things that you can do. These are the things that can bring value to your application because this makes it different. For instance, I've made lots of projects. One for health, one regarding food, the recipe box, and many others. But every of them, I didn't just do it. I also put the video that we needed to make at the time. I just put it on a YouTube channel. I'm not a YouTuber or whatever, but I just put it on the YouTube channel. And I've also created a website just to show that I have made projects. I can show my resume, my CV online directly by going to the website. I've shown the associations I'm on also on this website, and all these things. This is really simple to do. You have all the free tools that can help you doing a website, doing whatever things online. And if you share this, all the small steps are important. Having a website, nobody have it. Having a YouTube channel just to show the projects that you've done, nobody has it, etc., etc. That's all this kind of things. And also, and last point, in your CV, in your resume, in your motivation letter, everybody has the same, which is really hard to do differently. But try first to put your soft skills. Try first to talk about your passions, not only hard skills and education. Of course, it's important to put them, but if you don't put your values, your willingness in the future, I mean, you won't go anywhere because the others will do it also. So it's important to sometimes just in your CV just put I'm eager to learn, but also I will add value on this subject because I have made a project on this. If you put these little things, it's always something more than others. So try to be creative and find the other things. Also the shape of the CV. It's mine is really bizarre. It's really strange, but
it's original.
Yeah, and absolutely. And when you look at it, it's just like, oh, okay, let's take a look.
Let's read it.
Because and we always have this portrait mode, portrait format for the CV with the left column and the right side. But it's always the same. Just there's so many tools online, Canvas, PowerPoint. Even if you don't manage to do it on Word, just do it on PowerPoint if you prefer. But there's so many ways of doing it. You can do a chronological timeline or whatever. There's really be creative. I think it's important also.
Thank you.
So, who are the people who inspire you the most, and what is your daily inspiration?
Thanks for asking. Actually, Three people actually inspired me. The first one was at Airbus. It was Grazia Vitalini. She was the CTO at Airbus, and when I was one of the small intern in the company, in the smallest step of the company, I asked her, okay, can we just have a 30-minute interview? I just want to know your job. And she was at the top of the company. She was the second of the company, of the Airbus group. And I was at the time, okay, just asking for help. I want to just know your job. Mm-hmm. So I sent her an email and she said yes. So we had a 30-minute interview when I just asked questions in general. Yeah. And it was a really great moment. And she went from Airbus A380 architect designer, I think something like this, to CTO in less than 20 years. That's just crazy, a crazy thing. The next person, so she really inspired me on this, and also on the value she has. The second one is it will be it will be too much. How do you call this in English? Anyway, it's within my company. It's Aliette Mounier-Lompré. I think she's doing a great job within the company. And I actually really like her background, what she's done in her career, and how fast she's done it. I'm really inspired by that, and I think it's important to also assume what you do, assume what you are. She's done it quite well, and now she's there really managing the business I believe, very good. But yes, so that's the second one. And the third one is actually I don't know her name, I'm sorry, but she's the managing director of, I think it's Leroy Merlin France. It's just the news, I think you've read it, it was some days ago. I think it's really inspiring. She went from nothing to head of France. That's crazy. So yeah, she also inspired me by looking at her background.
Okay, thank you.
Also, only girls, and it's important to see in the inspiration that even though you're not a boy, if you're not a boy, you can do lots of things. Like, don't be blocked because you're a girl. You're as intelligent as us, as good as us, even more sometimes.
Yeah. So the next question is, for those who would like to follow the same path as you, is Orange hiring today?
Orange is always hiring. Maybe not for very small internships, but you can look, I'll do my advertisement, just go for Orange Jobs online. You can find lots of internships. There's more than 1,000 internships or jobs proposed. I have no idea the number, but yeah, you can, of course, we hire all the time. So there's the normal way, let's say it, with the website. You can find everything on it. So yes, we are hiring on this, but also we are hiring on the graduate program. So these are evolution program within companies, and this is a three job graduate program within Orange. So during almost 4 years, you actually discover new different jobs that you wouldn't imagine discovering. So I've done this. I've been recruited in the graduate program, and every year during the January to end of April period, you can be recruited in this graduate program. There's 40 people inside this, and I think that's a very good opportunity to discover the fields of a company and discover very important jobs. I've been a store manager, and being a store manager is really important in Orange, in Paris. And being this is really good because you actually learn the work of the real people, let's say, the ones that are on the field, that are really in front of the customers, that are really courageous. So yeah, we are hiring a lot, so feel free to go to Orange Jobs, of course.
Free advertisement for Orange.
So if you could give one piece of advice to the students of the EC, or even student of Omnes Group, what would it be?
I could have many advices, but let's say I come back to dare. I think it's important. You have nothing to lose there. And also prepare. It's always preparation. If you have an interview, prepare yourself. Adapt your environment, your CV, adapt to everything. So yeah, that would be the thing. And it goes on not only with ECE Paris, but all the rest of the schools.
Next question is gone. sorry. Who are the people who inspire you the most today, and what are your daily inspirations?
So for the people we've done it, who inspired me.
The problem is, I think
there's no worries.
Okay.
Maybe there's no. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I think time is over. I think it's time for us to thank Benjamin. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to exchange with you. So
you're welcome. Thanks for inviting me again. I hope it helped.
Thank you very much for being here. And we'll see you guys next masterclass in September. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.